I know. No, no. One industry. Okay. And also, what year are you in school? Yeah. How did you find high school? Are you back at school now? How have you been doing it? Is your what we're doing today? How did you find out about some? No, they don't. Yeah, you just have one son. Okay. No, with each other, both kids young enough each other. So when the time was right, we did that.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سورة ياسين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشاها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون آمنا بالله وصدق الله العلي العظيم الفاتحة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Salat time today is 8:34 p.m. Just as you salat time now. Please note that mu'mineen are required to be around 1 meter apart for the salah. Please also do continue to wear your masks for the salah as well. And a kind reminder that we request mu'mineen to bring their own absorbers from home to further reduce the risk of COVID transmission in the centre. Inshallah, we'll now with
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن علي ولي الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن عليا حجة الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. محمد رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. عليا ولي الله عليا حجة الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر
ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا وزيد بالإحسان إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا. صلى الله على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وبسم الله محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده يا ربي العظيم والدين ولا خير إلا محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم إني أسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والنجاة من النار ومن كل بلية ومن الجنة ورضوان في دار السلام وجوار نبيك محمد عليه وآله السلام اللهم ما بنا من نعمة قبل لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك
اللهم صل على أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر سبحانه في عظيم وبحمده سبحان الحمد لله سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ربنا إننا لنكونن من الخاسرين ولا تعاملنا بعدلك يا سمع الله لمن حمده الله الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر
سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر.
سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد.
الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر.
سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد.
الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده.
سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده وصلى على محمد وآل محمد.
الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر.
سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده يا ربي محمد وآل محمد وآل محمد.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. به فضلا ونفر فأنا فيما أنا طالب ولا عزان لا أدري أخي وهو في أرض أم في أرض أم في السماء إن في بر أم في بحر وعلى يديك من لمن وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك وأنت الذي تستقسمه بلطفك وتستقسمه برحمتك اللهم صل على محمد وعليه واجعل يا ربي الحكمة والسلام ومطلبه سهلا وما قريبا ولا تعني بطلب ما واغفر لي فيه رزقا فإنك غني عن عذابي وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك وصل على محمد وآله واتل على عبدك بقدر إنك ذو فضل عظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآله
Can I please request that you take your seats for the remainder of the program? As you do so, can I ask that you recite aloud and say the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad?
صلوات على محمد. कैसे उठाए सरवर कासिम तेरे लाशे को, कैसे उठाए सरवर गठरी में तेरा लाशा, किसको दिखाए सरवर गठरी में तेरा लाशा, किसको दिखाए सरवर कासिम तेरे लाशे को, कैसे उठाए सरवर दिल गम से कांपता है, लाशा भी है बदन में, बेआस है शहदी जुल्मो जफा के बन में, दरिया से बावफा को, दरिया से बावफा को कैसे बुलाए सरवर, दरिया से बावफा को कैसे बुलाए सरवर बिखरा है सिलाशा कुरान के जैसे पारे शबीर चुनते हैं लाशे के टुकड़े सारे टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम कैसे बनाए सरवर टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम कैसे बनाए सरवर किन मुश्किलों में कासिम तेरा चचा है सोचो मर जाएगी वो मादर पाला है जिसने तुझको खैमे में तुझको लेकर खैमे में तुझको लेकर किस तरह जाए सरवर खैमे में तुझको लेकर किस तरह जाए सरवर गठरी में तेरा लाशा किसको दिखाए सरवर कासिम तेरे लाशे को कैसे उठाए सरवर लेकर जो आ गए हैं मकतल से एक गठरी में नौजवान का लाशा नहीं है बीबी बेवा थी ये हसन की कैसे बताए सरवर बेवा थी ये हसन की कैसे बताए सरवर रो के दिले हज़ीं पर हर रंजो गम का पहरा नजरों में घूमता है इब्ने हसन का चेहरा भाई की ये निशानी कैसे भुलाए सरवर भाई की ये निशानी कैसे भुलाए सरवर एक हाथ में है गठरी एक हाथ है जिगर पर फिजा के दिल से पूछो क्या देखती है मंजर ज़ैनब को दे तसल्ली खुद रोए जाए सरवर ज़ैनब को दे तसल्ली खुद रोए जाए सरवर अकबर ने जो दिया था वो जख्म बर न पाया उस नौजवान का लाशा शबीर ने उठाया इस दर्द की चुभन से कहीं मर न जाए सरवर इस दर्द की चुभन से कहीं मर न जाए सरवर बिखरा है से लाशा कुरान के जैसे पारे शबीर चुन रहे हैं लाशे के टुकड़े सारे टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम, टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम, कैसे बनाए सरवर, टुकड़ों से फिर से कासिम, कैसे बनाए सरवर, गठरी में तेरा लाशा किसको दिखाए सरवर, कासिम तेरे लाशे को कैसे उठाए सरवर।
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. I recall every day, I remember, I recall your tragedy and torture. Every day I witness calamity. Every day I witness your tragedy. When my Lord gave me my eyes, He drew on them your figure. So wherever I would gaze, your beauty I would picture. But then my eyes would see the last son of Ali, alone, no family, crying, who will help me? But then my eyes would see the last son of Ali, alone, no family, crying, who will help me? And I watch as by wolves you are circled, and I watch as my beloved is killed. Every day it's with me a memory. Every day I witness your tragedy. Within the realm of your love, I awoke and I wondered whenever I called your name. It was Zainab that answered. You call for my brother, expecting an answer. I ran between fire, and he would not answer. You call for my brother, expecting an answer. I ran between fire, and he would not answer. I cried out, running after his children, I cried out, wanting him to assist them. Every day I ask him to come to me. Every day I witness your tragedy. I was thirsty for your love. Your name on my heart was drawn. I asked you to quench this thirst, and was met by 2 hands tall. Abbas came toward me, towering above me. Don't tell me you're thirsty when Hussein is thirsty. Abbas came toward me, towering above me. Don't tell me you're thirsty when Hussein is thirsty. Oh, servant, if you're in love with Hussein, oh, servant, daily you'll remember him every day. Hussein's banner I carry every day. I witness your tragedy. Just like a moth to a flame, I was drawn to your beauty. You became my every thought. Loving you was a duty. But when I'd remember you, I would see shimmer. I'd see a head severed, raised high upon a spear. But when I'd remember you, I would see shimmer. I'd see a head severed, raised high upon a spear, and I weep whenever I recall you, and I weep whenever I think of you every day. Hussein, daily and nightly, every day, I witness your tragedy. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. مؤمنين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Mu'mineen, we are honored that this evening we have with us Sayyid Jawad Khou'i and as well as my dear friend Abu al-Qasim. These are the grandchildren of the Grand Ayatollah, Ayatollah Khou'i. May Allah have mercy and blessings upon him, inshallah. So I'd like to welcome you to Wessex Jamaat, inshallah, and it is a great honor that you have joined us this evening. Mu'mineen, without your generous support, these crucial programs in honor of Abu Abdullah could simply not happen. I wish to all of those who have already donated to support these programs. We are still some way off our target of £10,200 for the 12 nights. Therefore, I urge Mu'mineen to please consider making a donation so that this flame of the Azadari can continue to burn within this noble center, inshallah. I pray that your donations are accepted by the noble lady herself as we gather in the remembrance of her beloved son. You can donate using the PayPal links and bank details circulated by email. The Ashura Day program will be this Thursday, the 19th of August. The online A'mal program will commence at 8:45 a.m. This program is online only, so please do not come to the center. Once again, the Ashura morning A'mal program will commence at 8:45 a.m. and will be online only via the Wessex Jamaat YouTube channel. This will be followed by the Ashura Day Maqtal program commencing at 12:30 p.m., which will take place here at the center. Of course, due to congestion, it can take time for cars to be parked, so please ensure that you do arrive from 12:30 p.m. in order to reduce the strain on the car park volunteers, so please do arrive well before Salah time. Next, inshallah, we will be having the Majalis by Sayyid Ali Khalkhali. Can I please ask that we welcome him with the loudest of your salawat, ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمدك اللهم يا من نور قلوبنا بأنوار المحبة العلوية وأكمل لنا ديننا بالولاية المرتضوية وأتم نعمته علينا بالهداية الحيدرية ونصلي ونسلم على الخاتم لما سبق والفاتح لمن غلق والمعلن الحق بالحق والدافع جيشات الأباطيل والدامي سولات الأضاليل حبيبك وحبيبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيت الأطيبين ولا سيما النور على النور في ضحياء الديجور والإمام المنصور والسراج المستور مهدي هذه الأمة وخاتم الأئمة إمام زماننا الحجة بن الحسن العسكري عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. To pray for the hastening of the reappearance of our awaited Savior, let's recite 3 loud salawat upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Respected elders, dear young ones, respected scholars, mu'mineen, mu'minat, brothers and sisters in Islam, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me start again like last night with a personal experience that occurred a number of years ago. We were invited to a community center who wished to do a program regards to Interfaith and Human Rights Day. That invited many people, dignitaries, respected scholars, rabbis, priests, young children, youth, elders, everyone was there present. And everyone had their own platform to speak about the importance of this event, human rights for everyone. And then what was interesting, it was the time of refreshments and serving of the food. And by the door, there was someone who would state that only those who are adults can have the refreshments. Afterwards, when there is some remaining food, the youth or the young ones can enjoy the food. A sheikh stood up, he said, for 2 hours you are speaking about human rights and everyone has rights and everyone needs to respect one another's rights. And immediately after this event, the rights of the young children and the rights of the youth you are not even taking into consideration. And immediately they thought about it. Yes, we are having Human Rights Day, and it's important that everyone should partake and participate in the offering and the banquet that was given to everyone. And thus you find that the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt themselves would remind us about every single member of society being the true fabric of the community. That's why when the martyrs of the day of Ashura were martyred, an Imam stood there alone, he gave 2 important qualities of his own companions and his family members. He looked at them and he said, Qatlul Ahibba. He said, my martyrs who passed away, they were my beloved ones. وَالْفِتْيَةُ مِنْ آلِ Muhammad. And who were they? They were the youth of Al Muhammad. They were the young fitya of Al Muhammad. That these two characteristics of them was so important that they gained such a great status. Fitya, they were young youth members, and they were the beloved ones of the Ahlul Bayt. So much so that you find that the Holy Quran mentions many times this word fitya. In fact, the Surah Al-Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the Ashabul Kahf, that many people think that they were very old and they were elderly and they had no other job but to do ibadah and worship and sleep in the cave. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions who were they, what does it say? إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. Who were they? They were young members, youth, fitya, who had belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they gained in guidance. Another occasion where this word fitya is mentioned is when the idols of the surah of the event of Prophet Ibrahim, when the idols were destroyed except the biggest one amongst them. And then they came and asked, who was it that destroyed all our idols? Who was the one who done this? And then they responded, قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. Who was it? They respond that it is said that it was someone, his name was Ibrahim, a young member of the community, of the society. And in fact, this event that took place fits the youthfulness of the Prophet Ibrahim is when he destroyed these idols and except the largest one, and then he mentioned to them, go ask the largest one, or go ask them, is for us again to use our aql and intellect whenever we are performing anything. Whether it's an act of worship, use your aql, your intellect, and anything else, always use that aql. And he wanted them to wake up from the stupor that they were in. When it comes to fitya and youth, you find that many times this specific age of youth, many people do not understand or do not know what the definition is. In fact, there is no real agreement. The United Nations, in fact, 3 days ago was the International Youth Day. The United Nations, they state that the youth are from age 15 to 30. They said no, actually it's 15 to 25. Then some of the member states, the countries and nations said, no, it's not 15 to 25. We'll increase it to 15 to 30. Then the Russian Federation said, no, 15 to 30 is too young. We'll increase it to 15 to 30, 35. Then you find actually they themselves state that actually it's not just an age that is to determine and define whether one is youth or young. It's actually that energy, that spirit, that appearance that one has, that he himself can characterize himself as being someone who is young and youth. I remember many years ago, there used to be an organization which used to focus on activities for 18 to 25-year-olds. And many of our mu'mineen, they wanted to enter and join. And as soon as the organizers used to see the appearance, mashallah, many of them have a beard from like 12 years old, they would say to them, excuse me, this organization will only allow those who are 18 to 25 years old. And again, we say, we know. Said, no, 18 to 25. Said, no, we know, 18 to 25, that's what we want to register, we're 18 years old. Said, but you don't look it. You look much older. In fact, that in itself, that appearance does not necessarily mean that you are young or old. It's rather that spirit that you have, that youngness or young at heart, that is that fitya. So in Islam, you find that when they mention fitya or shab, there is no specific age. That person looks young at heart. He has that energy. He has that spirit to continue as a young member. He is that person who is most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a hadith Qudsi states to the angels, Ya malaikati, O my angels, I am seeing one of my own servants, Abd, who has taraka shahawateh, who has kept away from all of the desires of the dunya in this world and is performing ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is ahabbul khalaiqi ilayh. He is the most beloved of creation to me. Who? That young person who spends his time in obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what a time to remember the youth and the young, a time that we're remembering someone who was one of the young members of Karbala, and how important that the Imam also narrates to us about the importance of those young members who are the martyrs of the event of Karbala. So you find the youth in itself is so important that many times people would ask, how can we engage with them and what can we do to keep them part of the community, part of the society? Why are we losing the youth? First of all, we need to ensure that we remind ourselves the youth themselves need to be active and involved in every matter of life and ensure that they realize the importance of the state that they're in, the young state age that they are in. So much so that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he mentions to Abu Dhar, he says, Abu Dhar, value 5 before 5, which is not going to be our focus of discussion, but he mentions this statement, اغتنم شبابك قبل هرم. Value your youth before that elderly age creeps in. You ask all of the elders, the senior members, or even the grandpas and grandmas, what is the advice you would give me, a young member? Say, take advantage of your youth. Take advantage of the time that you have, the great energy that you have. And some of them might say these Arabic words of poetry, ألا ليت الشباب يعود. Oh, how I wish that youth age returns and I can perform what you can perform. In fact, Mu'min al-Taq, he was sent on a mission to Basra in Iraq at the time of the 6th Imam. And when he came back to the Holy Imam, the Imam asked, how were the people of the city of Basra? How did you find them? And he started to complain to the Imam that they are not attending, they're not listening, they are not performing the acts that I'm giving them in regards to the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the Imam said to him straight, Alayka, make sure you take hold of the al-fitya. Make sure you take hold and take advantage of those in that community who are at the youth age. فَإِنَّهُمْ أَسْرَعُ إِلَى الْخَيْرَاتِ. For they are the ones who would rush to perform the good deeds. Go towards them and they would come towards the good deeds. They would perform the good acts that you would like them to perform towards for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or you find on another occasion, the Imam states, the second Imam, he says, make sure you give the duties and responsibilities to the young ones. يُوشَكُ أَنْ يَكُونُوا كَبَارَ قَوْمٍ آخَرٍ. For very soon, they would become the leaders and adults and the elders of another nation. So it's very important as a society, as a community, as an organization, as those who follow the Quran and follow the teachings of our Holy Messenger, that we always give the responsibilities and duties. And like the baton, how it's given and passed on, and let them know their responsibilities, their duties, and their roles, and what they need to do, even in terms of wajibat, even in terms of what's haram. Let them be aware in terms of what they can be part of the society, part of the community. The last thing we want is that society which has been accustomed to one level or one age for years and years, and then, God forbid, there will be, for example, a situation where none of them are available in that community and society, and then when they approach the youth, who knows, for example, how we can use the audio-visual room? I don't know. I've never been in this room, for example. Who knows how to open the center? I've never been here. And you look around saying, where have you been all these years? I was never given a role or responsibility or duty to take care of or be aware of. That's why the Imams say always give them responsibilities and duties. And mashallah, we see in our communities and societies, from very young age, they give them the opportunity to recite Quran, to recite dua, to recite, for example, the matam or the marthiyah. So slowly, they have that ability and opportunity to have that confidence to recite in front of others and have that confidence and ability to lead others in their society. We find even now, alhamdulillah, there are young majalis for the young people that they themselves are gathering. They're reciting Quran, they're reciting Quran, they're reciting a short hadith, short verses from the Holy Quran, and having that adult, that one who is with them, who is guiding them towards what's needed to be done under the teachings of the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. Thirdly, you find there is high recommendations and instruction from the Imams, the importance of the youth to not lose and waste their time, the valuable time and opportunity they have in front of them. Al-firaq, the firaq that they have amongst them. Why? Again, the Holy Prophet says, اغتنم فراغك قبل شغلك. Value the free time you have before you are so occupied. Many parents will say to their sons and daughters, mashallah, you have summer holidays, you have the winter holidays, you have this holidays. We don't have any of these holidays that we have. Use the opportunity you have. Use the hours that you have. Don't be of those who the hadith says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْضِبْ الشَّابَ الْفَارِغ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala detests that youth member among the society, among the community, who wastes his time. He has free time. He has the opportunity, but completely, what does he do? He calls his friends, let's go chill out and kill time. Kill time? Allah's given you so much time and bounty and ni'mah. Use it wisely. What does our fourth Imam state in the dua? Dua bi Hamza al-Thamani. وَمِن مَجَالِسِ الْبَطَّالِينَ. And from those wasteful gatherings, Ya Allah, keep me far away from. Keep me away from those gatherings that are full of gossiping, full of ghiba, full of namima, full of waste. No benefit in it. So use the time wisely. Our Imams also state the importance of tafaqquh fi deen, that one who's young, he should use his time wisely and use his time to learn further regards to his own faith and deen. So much so that the fifth Imam states that if I saw a young member of our community, of our society, who is wasting his time and not learning from his deen, لَأَدَّبْتُهُ, I would have disciplined him and sat beside him and taught him the teachings, the ahadith and the verses of the Holy Quran. And here's a reminder to me and to every single one of us that the Holy Prophet himself states that waylun, woe be upon those parents fi akhir al-zaman, during the last days and times, who leave their sons and daughters without any upbringing, true upbringing. He said, what do you mean, Ya Rasulullah? He said, those parents who do not give their sons and daughters the teachings of the fara'id, the teachings of the obligations upon the, for example, the salah, the sawm, the minimal, the brief needed from the lessons from the Quran, from the Holy Prophet said, woe be upon them. Not only that, he says, فَإِنِّي مِنْهُمْ بَرِيءٌ. I, the Holy Messenger, am far away, disassociating myself from them. Many times we find parents come to us and approach us and say, Sayyidina, my son's gone far away from the path and deen. Astaghfiru billah. When you ask further about that father's role, the mother's role, where are they? So Sayyidina, I've been working and I'm far away and I live in another country and my wife is also working 24/7. She's very busy, But we used to send them 2 hours to an online course, and we thought he would become the greatest of scholars at the end of the day. When there is no true sitting down with them, upbringing, knowing what they're learning, what they are going to be fed in terms of spiritually and physically, of course, then there will be other people, other mechanisms, and other teachings that they will receive. So it's important the time spent with the son and daughter to give them that true upbringing on the path of Muhammad and Al Muhammad sallallahu wa sallam alayhi ajma'in. So use the time wisely, responsibly, that one should use their time. Number two, we said the responsibilities and duties must be given to them. We find also the Ahlul Bayt also remind us so much that the importance of seeking knowledge, especially when you're young. Seeking knowledge, especially when you're young. Al-ilmu fi as-sighari kan-naqshi fil-hajari. Seeking knowledge when you're young is like engraving in a stone. Engraving a stone. Have you seen many times when you go, for example, past these monuments, it says this stone was laid 1822, and the whole of the structure of the building is nearly decomposed, but that stone with that engraving has remained. And therefore, seeking knowledge whilst you're young is one of the most important recommendations. So much so that the sixth Imam states that I wish to see the young amongst us. إما عالما أو متعلما. Either they are a scholar, they are teaching the ulum, or they are learning, they are gaining knowledge. He says, if they are not one of these two states, then they are losing out. And if they are losing out, then they are wasting the precious time. And if they are wasting their precious time, then they are causing themselves upon sins, upon sins. And if they are sinning and sinning and sinning, that leads them towards where? Jannah or hellfire. That sin and sin leads towards hellfire. So at a young, youthful age, it is the best time to seek knowledge, especially with the amount of free time that one has. And to keep away from those things that distract us. You find many of the mu'mineen, they'll say that I learned all of the ahadith, all the verses of the Quran, or chapters from the Holy Quran when I was young, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. Or even before all of these gadgets came, many of you would remember, you would ask the 80s and 90s dots, many of us before the millennium, how many phone numbers you've memorized. My father's phone number, my uncle's phone number, A, B, C, many of the friends' phone numbers, 20, 30, 40 friends of mine, memorized. You ask now one of the young people, for example, have you memorized your parents' phone number? It's a struggle. What's their phone number? All I need to do is say Siri and you tell me what their phone number is and they'll call. I don't need to know their number. And in fact, it's affecting their memorization skills. And that's why when it comes to the responsibilities and duties that we need to remember, one thing as a society is to always welcome the youth in our centers. Always welcome them to our centers and let them know very well that this place is for them and for their future. For they will, inshallah, be the leaders of our community. They will tomorrow be the leaders of our society. That they are always welcome to the community, always welcome to the center. That this center is somewhere that's going to take care of them, inshallah, in fiqh, in deen, in ilm, in seeking knowledge, in any issues they have, that we have the scholar, the resident alim who was able to approach them, anything they have, confidential matters, that this is the place for them to approach. Number two, that the place are centers and Islamic centers. You find this even in the teachings of our Holy Prophet, that in the city of Medina, the mosque was not just the place of ibadah, but it was not only just the place of ibadah, but it was the get-together of the mu'mineen. The brothers would get together, they would sit down, they have halaqat, study circles. Those study circles, they'll sit down. Some of them would have study circles, for example, reciting and learning from the Holy Quran. They'll sit in one group. Some of them would sit together, they'll learn how to perform some of the acts of worship together. Salah together, ibadah together in the masjid. Some of them would just sit down and discuss some of the ahadith with one another. And you find that this is one of the best ways to associate the youth towards their center. That let them have this place for them, a center for them to learn, to gain knowledge, and also for them to perform their acts of worship. And in addition to that, that this is the center for them to organize recreational activities and leisure activities in a halal environment for them to partake in. Many times, many of our mu'mineen struggle to perform their sports activities, for example. Their leisure activities. They say, Sayyidina, it's been years I've not been able to go swimming. You live right next to the sea. So no, I can't. It's very difficult because there's, for example, difficult situations for me to go into. Or, for example, the centers themselves, they can organize, for example, swimming, hiring a swimming pool, hiring the gym, table tennis, which I've seen already every day that I come through the corridors of the hall. That this place is somewhat that they organize, not just acts of worship and ibadah, but activities for them to what? For them to be involved with, to socialize with, in a halal, in a respectful environment. And mashallah, the potentials that we see in this center here are so great that I truly feel that this is a place that inshallah has the alam of our Imam of our time, inshallah, here in this place. That use the opportunities that you have here. Use the facilities that you have. Many years ago, I remember one of the mu'mineen, the first lessons of Islam that I personally learned was that 1 hour he would bring us to the mosque, to the Husayniyah. We would sit down, we would learn for a few minutes Quran, we would mention a few ahadith, and then for a few hours we would also have sports activities and football on every Sunday. And that association, that many of the lessons that we learn from Islam was something that we would look up to, look forward to every week. That we'll go to the center, we'll see the mu'mineen, and we'll have that sports activities in a friendly environment. Let it not be that the youth find their centers close the door on them. That they say, we want to perform Islamic activity, they don't allow us. We want to perform these social activities, they don't allow us. Always give this opportunity for them, for us, for them to have the center for them and for everyone else, of course. But tonight, as it's the night of the youth, inshallah, Haqqu Shabab Ash-Shabab, is for us to remember that they are an essential, important element, fabric of society. And that's why you find that even in the examples of the Holy Messenger, when he sent leaders with the mission that they had, he sent young amongst them. For example, Osama, who was the youngest member of the community that he had. He was the youngest amongst them. Another example that we must mention his name is the one on Da'watul Dhul Ashira. Whenever he asks, who will be my wazir, my akh, who would be the one who would help me in this mission, my aid, supporter, none other than a young Amir al-Mu'min would stand up. Not once. Again, he placed his hands down. Who would be my akh, wazir, minister in this mission? None other than the same man, figure stands up. And on a third occasion, he places his hands up. Then he states, "O Ali, anta minni bimanzilati Haruna min Musa, illa annahu la nabiyya ba'di, anta akhi wa wasiyi wa warithi min ba'di." That's, "Oh Ali, you are the true brother, young, 13 years old, young. That's, oh Ali, he would be my supporter, my brother, my heir, and aid in this mission." The mission of what? The mission of Islam, the continuation of prophethood towards imamat, continued from a young Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Mawla al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the lessons from the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt, from the two sons, the grandsons of Rasulullah, were young members, Sayyiday Shababi Ahlul Jannah. But many of the lessons that we learn from them during the time of the Holy Prophet were when they were young, very young members. And the Holy Prophet would remind us, love them, look up to them. Don't say that they're just too young, we don't need to learn from them. No, They are the ones that you need to look up to. They are the ones who, if you love them, Allah loves you for your love towards them. And that's why, even on the night of Ashura, Imam had specific members amongst them who were known for their youthful age. The lessons of Karbala, the lessons of Ashura are not only for the elderly, not only for one age or one gender. No, they're universal. Every single member of society is welcome to join, and every single one of us wishes to embark on, from the young to the elderly. Age, race, background, nationality, everyone is welcome to join. That's Misbah al-Huda and Safinatul Najah. You find there were young members in Karbala. For example, his very own brother, Abul Fadl Abbas, was a young member in consideration to the other members who were there in the companions and the members of the family there. You find, for example, his very own son, who he self-sacrificed his very own son as the first member of Banu Hashim, Aliul Akbar. Very young member who became one of the Shuhada of Karbala. And there were others who were very young, even from the female, by the way. It's not only that we're mentioning the male members who were instrumental in the teachings of Islam, but you find even the female, for example, Sakina, Ruqayya, Fatima, Sughra, they were all young members, and they were instrumental as guide and lessons for us of the importance of being of those who hold the banner up, the banner of Islam. And you find one of the members of the sons of Imam al-Mujtaba alayhi afdal salatu wassalam, al-Qasim. Tonight, we remember a member of the sons of our beloved second Imam. Our second Imam, who at the time of his very own martyrdom, whenever on one side Imam al-Hussein, Sayyidah Zainab, Abul Fadl Abbas would call out, "Oh Imam al-Mujtaba, oh Imam al-Hassan," in Baqi, in Medina, he would keep on looking at Sayyidah Zainab and say, "Sayyidah Zainab, if you cry for me, remember, La yawm ka yawm al-Hussein." There is no day like the tragedy of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam al-Hassan was not there in Karbala, but he had those who represented him in Karbala. One of them was Al-Qasim ibn al-Hassan, a young member, but he held the banner up so high. His knowledge was so great, his faith was so great, his deen was so great. He loved his Imam of his time. He done everything for the Imam of his time. He sacrificed everything in this dunya for hub of Allah and hub of the Imam of his time. He keeps on coming to the Imam of his time, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, "Oh beloved uncle, i'dhan li, give me permission to go to the battlefield. I wish to become one of the Shuhada of Karbala." Every time he goes towards his uncle Abu Abdullah, Imam al-Hassan, Imam Hussein looks at him and he resembles Imam al-Hassan. He says, "Bunay Qasim, oh beloved son Qasim, every time I look at you, you remind me of my beloved brother. Every time I look at you, you are the resemblance of my beloved brother Imam al-Mujtaba." Again, he refuses permission until Qasim ibn al-Hassan goes towards his beloved mother. "Mother, every time I ask my uncle for permission, he refuses and asks me and says, 'Oh Qasim, stay. For every time I look at you, I remember my beloved Imam al-Mujtaba.'" Then the beloved mother of Qasim, she takes out a letter whereby Imam al-Mujtaba said that whenever you are all alone, wahidan farida, you see Imam al-Hussein wahidan farida, calling out, "Ala min nasirin yansuruni," calling out, "Hal min mu'inin yu'inuni." Is there anyone to be victorious with me? Aba Abdullah, labbayka ya Hussein. Read this letter. The letter said, a message from Imam al-Hassan, from Imam al-Hassan to his son, بني قاسم إذا رأيت عمك الحسين في عرصات كربلاء وحيدا فريدا فلا تقصرن في نصرته. Allah, Allah, what a musibah, what a tragedy. Oh, beloved son Qasim, if you ever saw your beloved uncle all alone in the land and desert sands, then do not ever hesitate to be victorious with your beloved uncle Aba Abdullah. After some moments, Qasim comes towards his beloved uncle. He says, "Oh, beloved uncle, this is the ammama of my beloved father, and this is the sword of my beloved father, and this is the message of my beloved father, asking me to ask you for permission to enter the battlefield and represent him on the day of Karbala." Imam al-Hussein, weeping and shedding tears, bids farewell towards Qasim. Qasim ibn al-Hassan, that young member of the family of Banu Hashim, enters the battlefield. He calls out aloud, إن تنكروني فأنا نجل الحسن صبط النبي المصطفى والمؤتمن. هذا الحسين كالأسير المرتهن بين أناس لا سقوا صوب المزن. He calls out, I am Qasim, the son of Imam al-Mujtaba. I will never let my beloved Hussein be alone in Karbala. They start to attack him from one side and another, as if this was the grandson of Al Rasulullah, until Qasim, he comes down to fix the sandal. Na'le ajarakum Allah. One of Adu Allah strikes Qasim on his head until he calls out, An ya Hussein, oh beloved uncle Abu Abdullah, rush to your nephew Qasim. Aba Abdullah comes towards his beloved nephew Qasim. He calls out, Bunay Qasim, what have they done to your body? Allah, Allah, a young man of Al Muhammad, of Al Rasulullah. How could Aba Abdullah return this young body to their mother? The mother of Qasim, what would she say? But every mother wishes to see their son in their moment of happiness, in their moment of glory. The moment of happiness and glory of Qasim was to become one of the shuhada of Karbala. I say, oh Qasim, you had your beloved uncle on your side, you had your uncles to another side. They carried your body back to the tent. La yawm ka yawmul Hussein. Who was there to carry the body of Abu Abdullah? Who was there to carry the body of Abu Abdullah? Abu Abdullah lay on the sands of Karbala 3 days bila ghuslin wala kafanin. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Matam Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein.
हाय कासिम हाय कासिम हाय कासिम हाय कासिम कैदी पाबंद रसम लाशों से जो गुजरे अहले हरम हर बीबी अपने प्यारों से होती थी विदा करके मातम एक बीबी फातिमा बिन्ते हसन पामाल बदन कासिम की बहन किसी जा से रुखसत न हुई टुकड़ों में जो था भाई बदन कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी उस टुकड़े पर है कासिम हाय 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 तेरी भैन गरीब नु नहीं भुलना तेरी भैन गरीब नु नहीं भुलना तेरे कत्ल दा मंजर आए कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी सेहरा देख के रोती थी कभी वश खा के गिर जाती थी कभी सेहरा देख के रोती थी कभी वश खा के गिर जाती थी पामाल हुआ था भाई जहां पामाल हुआ था भाई जहां उस खून पे गिर कर हाय कासिम 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 कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम बिच रस्सियां दे पाबंद हुई नहीं भैन गरीब दा बस कोई बिच रस्सियां दे पाबंद हुई नहीं भैन गरीब दा बस कोई होंदे हथ आजाद ते मर जांदी होंदे हथ आजाद ते मर जांदी तेरा मातम कर कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े किस शान से तुम दूल्हा थे बने किस शान से थी बारात चली किस शान से तुम दूल्हा थे बने किस शान से बारात चली बैठी रही दुल्हन हुजरे में बैठी रही दुल्हन हुजरे में आए लौट के ना तुम हाय कासिम 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 कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी उस टुकड़े पर तेनू नाल दुआवां मौजड़ी मैदान ते पासे टोरे असी तेनू नाल दुआवां मौजड़ी मैदान ते पासे टोरे असी ओदी मेहनत कर पामाल गया ओदी मेहनत कर पामाल गया 9 लख दा लश्कर है कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम फरमान कहा बेटा कासिम कह देना दादी जहरा से फरमान कहा बेटा कासिम कह देना दादी जहरा से गुर्बत की कमाई टुकड़ों में गुर्बत की कमाई टुकड़ों में बेची है सजा कर हाय कासिम 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 कदी इस टुकड़े ते कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम सानू रास ना आई करब भला तू बाज कफन मैं बाज रदा सानू रास ना आई करब भला तू बाज कफन मैं बाज रदा तेरे कत्ल दे बाद लई नाने तेरे कत्ल दे बाद लई मेरी लुट लई चादर हाय कासिम 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 कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते हाय कासिम उठ कासिम देख तेरी दुल्हन तेरी लाश पे रोने आई है उठ कासिम देख तेरी दुल्हन तेरी लाश पे रोने आई है काश ये शादी ना साथी है काश ये शादी ना साथी बस जाता तेरा घर है कासिम हाय 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 कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर होया टुकड़े टुकड़े नाल जहर मेरे बाप हसन दा पाक जिगर होया टुकड़े टुकड़े नाल जहर मेरे बाप हसन दा पाक जिगर होई टुकड़े टुकड़े विच मकतल होई टुकड़े टुकड़े तेरी लाश बेरादर है कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते कदी इस टुकड़े ते हर सात मुहर्रम को मेहंदी तेरी याद में कासिम उठती है हर सात मुहर्रम को मेहंदी तेरी याद में कासिम उठती है दूल्हा दूल्हा कासिम दूल्हा कासिम होता है लबों पर है कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर है कासिम कभी उस टुकड़े पर नहीं रुक सकती लाचारी है संग फुफियां नाल तैयारी है नहीं रुक सकदी लाचारी संग पिया नाल तैयारी उठ आखिरी बारी गल लाके उठ आखिरी बारी गल लाके उजड़ी नु पिदा कर है कासिम हाय हाय कासिम हाय 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 कासिम कदी इस टुकड़े ते है कासिम कदी उस टुकड़े ते फैयाज रेहान ते सरवर नू नहीं भुलने भैन उस बीबी दे फैयाज रेहान ते सरवर नू नहीं भुलने भैन उस बीबी दे जिद सदके अच विचारी जिद सदके अच विचारी तेरा मातम कर हाय कासिम हाय हाय कासिम 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 हाय कासिम कभी इस टुकड़े पर हाय कासिम कभी उस टुकड़े पर हाय कासिम हाय हाय कासिम हाय कासिम हाय हाय कासिम हाय कासिम या Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein, Maulana, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, के करे अब रहने इस्लाम नबी का बचाया है तकदीर का दीप जलाया है कुरान का मान बनाया है तौहीद में गहरी को लुटाया है शब्बीर आदम दिलगीर का मातम हम शक्ल पैगंबर मार गया 6 माह का असगर मार गया हम शक्ल पैगंबर मार गया 6 माह का असगर मार गया अब्बास दिलावर मार गया शबीर का दिल पर मार गया अकबर का मातम असगर का मातम कलबू पर थी सदा कैसे जमा आजान सितम कुछ ऐसा किया कासिम का जसद पामाल हुआ बेहाल हुई मैं परवा कासिम का मातम कासिम का मातम बेकस का मातम कासिम का गम है और बिछता है जहाँ पर फर्श अदा होता है जहाँ पर अंबर का उर्से को पहुँचती है ज़हरा करती हुई सारी मीनो सरवर का मातम कर का मातम प्यारों पे करती है रोज आदान सितम कुछ ऐसा किया आसिम का जसद पामाल हुआ बेहाल हुई मैं कुर्बा कासिम का मातम कासिम का मातम का मातम कासिम का गम है और कुबरा चलने से जो लाचार था चलने से जो लाचार था और शाम का बाजार था और शाम का बाजार था और मुस्तफा की बेटियां सनिया की मां शबीर की औलाद ली शबीर की औलाद ली सीने पे जो शाके फली सीने पे जो शाके फली जिसकी आवाज़ बन में चली जिसकी आवाज़ बन में चली मुंह पर तमाचों के निशान मौला Say
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا سيد الرسولين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، السلام على 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن القائم المنتظر المهدي، عجل الله تعالى فرجك، الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك، والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك حجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على Monique, please request you to take your seats and to follow the instructions of the volunteers and marshals so that we can leave the center in a safe manner, inshallah. Once again, a reminder that these programs cannot happen without your generous and ongoing support. Therefore, please do consider making a donation to the Muharram Fund so that we can continue to mourn the Azadari of Allah Abdullah in this fashion. You can donate through the PayPal links or bank details that have been circulated by email and WhatsApp. And I ask that we end the program with recitation of Surah Al-Mubarak al-Fatiha for all Marhumin, Surah Al-Mubarak al-Fatiha.